Welcome to the Canola Discovery Forum. I'm Curtis Rempel. I'm the Vice President for Crop Production and Innovation at the Canola Council of Canada. I'd like to present some thoughts about the strategic direction for the canola industry and the role that innovation plays. It's been said many times and bears repeating, canola is a crop driven by innovation. The initial draft of our industry innovation strategy comes from consultation with our industry membership and our provincial producers' commissions on behalf of canola growers. What follows is some of the guidance that we have received and would now like to review with the broader community, including producers and scientific researchers and specialists, especially at Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada, provinces, and universities. The innovation strategy will set priorities and direction for canola for the next 10 years, including preparation for the next Ag Policy Framework, which is currently in progress. For context, it's important to remember canola is important for sustainable jobs and growth for Canadians. Canola industry contributes over $30 billion to the Canadian economy annually, including 200,000 jobs from growing, processing, and exporting canola. This represents an additional $7.2 billion injected into the Canadian economy over the past decade, which has benefited all Canadians. With respect to growth potential, the canola industry continues to move forward. With the recent announcement of 3 new processing plants in Saskatchewan and a doubling in capacity of another, canola has the opportunity to increase its place among the major growth sectors in the Canadian economy. Canadian crush capacity is expected to increase by 50% with the addition of these plants. The private sector has invested nearly $1 billion to improve port facilities in Vancouver and grain handling capacity, and the life science sector continues to invest in the crop that has proven to be the most profitable crop to Canadian farmers over the past decade. The world faces significant challenges in terms of food security, global warming, and other environmental issues, and human health and wellness. Canola is ready to be a full partner to address these critical issues. We can do more and do better, so long as we harness the opportunities available to us and are nimble enough to innovate. Canola must continue to improve, and research will guide us. The canola value chain can increase productivity per acre, lower its environmental footprint per ton of seed, oil, and meal produced, and continue to meet customer demand for healthy oil and protein. Demand for canola oil and meal protein are high due to renewable fuels, increasing awareness of role of dietary fat in health and wellness, and new global markets for plant proteins. The canola industry has a strategic plan to deliver yields needed to meet the global demand for 26 million metric tons of canola by 2025. The strategy focuses on profitably increasing yields while reducing risk and improving the environmental footprint. This will require technology, predictable and updated regulations, and research, both short-term focused and long-term foundational. For innovation, public research and public-private partnerships are essential. The canola industry has received significant investment from private companies for genetics and variety development, fertilizer and nutrition, crop protection products, equipment that optimizes conservation tillage and planting and harvesting a small seeded crop, and handling and processing. Canola farmers have provided levy dollars to fund fundamental genetic improvements, canola agronomy, and trials to demonstrate the health and nutritional functionality of canola oil and meal. The handlers, crushers, exporters, and feed and food companies continue to invest in R&D through Canola Council of Canada core funding. And federal and provincial governments have funded all aspects of canola research, frequently in partnership with farmers and industry. As an industry, we are grateful for the investment of public dollars from federal and provincial governments and for the time and efforts of government and university scientists to make our crop the success that it is today and drive innovation for the future. We have had funding for very impactful research, much more than flipping a coin. To reiterate, all of this research funding has made the canola industry the $30 billion economic driver that it is today. Going forward, our industry cannot thrive without the investment into public research. We need the benefits which accrue from funding and long-term scope for foundational research that can drive discovery and innovation. Let's move on to talk about innovation and in research as it applies to canola directly. The canola innovation strategy will focus on 4 key pillars: performance, precision, protection, and product. And I will address each one of these individually. These are tied to our strategic platforms that we use to achieve our yield targets of 52 bushels per acre by 2025, which is part of our Keep It Coming industry strategic plan. Much of the innovation is focused on continued genetic improvement of the crop and agronomy best management practices to unlock that genetic potential. Performance. The goal of this pillar is to increase productivity for yield per acre and meet current and future customer needs for oil and protein while remaining the top economic crop for Canadian producers. Increasing canola yields is job 1. Increasing yields leads to sequestering more carbon in the soil, and increasing yields while reducing greenhouse gas emissions will contribute significantly to mitigating climate change. Key innovations that we will be targeting in this pillar include increasing crop production efficiency through analysis of each input and land management practices. Studying the rhizosphere and root soil interactions which could improve plant and soil health, reduce disease prevalence and impact, increase carbon sequestration, improve nutrient use efficiency, and most importantly, increase yield. Develop canola plants that can withstand drought, heat, and excess moisture. Increase the photosynthetic capacity and carbon use efficiency to improve yield potential and sequester more carbon. Improve nitrogen use efficiency and reduce fertilizer per ton of canola produced. Some of this is genetic, but much of this will come from smart fertilizers. That is, fertilizers which are only released when coming into contact with target roots, and by optimizing the rhizosphere microbiome to enable free-living nitrogen fixation, as an example, and to reduce carbon losses and increase carbon sequestration overall. The second pillar is precision. We know that fields are not homogeneous or uniform. The goal is to use current technology and adopt new innovation to manage and optimize profitability in zones or regions of the field, while establishing an improved environmental footprint. More productivity and profitability with less risk on the same land will also help Canada protect its landscape, preserve non-farm spaces, and increase biodiversity and beneficial insects. Some key innovations that we are targeting to improve canola precision include research on crop establishment, which may include vigor and tolerance to weather stresses such as low moisture, high moisture, and cold temperature. Understanding soil variability and impact on nutrient utilization, moving away from the same rate of fertilizer across the entire field. Encouraging private and public funded research to include canola when using precision techniques to improve yields and more precise applications of inputs, seed, fertilizer, and crop protection. Encouraging research on smart farms and living labs to address canola-specific issues and to develop a model for on-farm testing by industry and growers to test new management practices and products. And finally, require an economic analysis of all canola-funded projects. The first 2 pillars are focused on optimizing canola yield and profitability. The third pillar is focused on protecting canola yields. This pillar includes protection of the crop from pests and other threats to productivity, including climate change factors, while also protecting markets. Protecting markets means using approved crop protection products and seed traits and demonstrating attention to sustainability, including economic, environmental, and social. Key innovations in this space include identifying genetic improvements for tolerance to weather stress and adaptation to climate change which includes both excess water and droughts, and resistance to root diseases, clubroot, sclerotinia, blackleg, and verticillium. Development of effective biologicals for pest management. The formation of consortia between private and public genomic programs. Private breeders drive the development of new canola varieties, while public research often lays the groundwork for many genetic innovations, especially for disease and insect protection. Optimizing harvest management in order to take advantage of genetic gains in pod shatter resistance and put more canola in the bin. Develop models and foster equipment innovation for higher volume storage of canola seed. Develop models for pest prediction and management. And develop objective performance information for growers to make the best pest management decisions on their farm. And again, with respect to genetic potential or genetic resistance, a key focus will be on genetic resistance to insects, which is elusive and lacking in canola at this time. Our final innovation pillar is product. The goal of this pillar is to ensure Canada's canola industry can supply current customers while also being flexible to adapt to changing market demands for food, fuel, and feed. Key innovations to improve canola oil and protein include continued focus on oil content to ensure maximum value for the canola crop, research on new oil profiles which can contribute to human health, such as enhanced EPA and DHA canola, enhanced oil profiles to reduce inflammation, and a focus on protein bioavailability to meet changing demands for plant-based protein. Important is also looking at new oil profiles which may increase efficiency for biofuels markets and also potentially for aviation fuel as well. Protein can be a value driver for canola as long as the innovation can be integrated into the current value chain through an identity preserved system without affecting the integrity or profitability of the value chain as it currently exists. Continuing research into processing practices that are safe for people, livestock, and the environment while maintaining efficiency. And reviewing the canola definition and rules for output traits that may be outside the primary canola definition. Canada's canola industry must be open to emerging markets for health, functionality, and biofuels while ensuring that we protect the current base commodity oil and meal markets. In order to advance innovation, regulatory and consumer support is essential. Canadian regulators are key and must be involved in the development of transparent and timely regulations for new innovative processes and products. Specifically, Canada and its trading partners need a science-based, harmonized regulatory system for plant breeding and genetic tools, including gene editing and RNA interference technology. Seed innovation would benefit from harmonized global seed purity regulations, especially for low-level presence to limit trade impediments and increase seed industry investment. Good patent protection so seed developers can extract and create value, and a transparent and predictable Canadian variety registration system. We need a harmonized, science-based, and transparent regulatory system for reapproval of older products and for new product registration. And consumer confidence is enabled with strong regulatory support for new technologies. Gene editing technologies in particular offer more precision and more agronomic and environmental benefits for improving food security and health and wellness of the planet than at any time in our history. And regulators and scientists can play a role in communicating this to consumers so they feel confident with innovation in this space. I'd like to again re-emphasize the role and value of public-private partnerships for innovation in canola. Public research creates an ecosystem of innovation through long-term foundational research and through new approaches, including on-farm field testing, such as the Living Labs initiative. Private research drives innovation in commercial seed traits and crop protection products and in canola end-use products that can expand markets while protecting our existing supply chains. Grower-funded research leverages further government and private investment. Growers are the adopters of innovative practices that improve the quality and environmental footprint of Canadian canola. And Canada needs a regulatory system that gives consumers confidence in our food and environmental safety, while also supporting modern solutions to major problems. In conclusion, through innovation, Canadian canola can improve its productivity per acre, become more resilient, and reduce its environmental footprint. Research will guide improvements in canola performance, precision, protection, and products. Private, public, and grower-funded research are each essential and are necessary for canola to keep contributing to the health and wellness of the planet while increasing our economic returns. Thank you.